for you. What? Pick one thing that you were a part of that you think you would have done differently had you, looking back now.
Yeah.
Like one of the many things you've done for the city. What do you look back and not so much regret, but what do you think you would have done differently looking back now? And if there's more than one,
I think he's got his mind in that. He's got a laundry list. He's been around too long.
Yeah, there are several things, but you know what? One of my biggest things, which I'm in the process of correcting right now, was Macon Man Comics.
Right. I had a feeling he would say that. Maybe that.
Did you think that?
Well, that was one of them. I thought maybe.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But that was something that I had more control over than, let's say, First Friday or some of these other city things.
Right.
I mean, I do have some regrets on how some things were handled, but like I said, it was a great concept.
Mm-hmm.
It still is a great concept.
And Craig Hamilton, the artist, is a great artist.
I
think he's probably Macon's best artist.
He's a terrific,
definitely best comic book artist.
He's amazing. Mm-hmm. He's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is.
But it was.
And I will say I was one of the kind of naysayers about it, and that's why I wanted to ask Terrell that to see if that was what he.
Well, do you think you'll bring back Macon Man?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you revamping it with Craig, or is somebody else taking over?
He'll keep that. There's plenty of artists in the sea, baby.
Well, the reason I asked that, I did have a little a little knowledge on it at one time. I remember a friend of ours, D. Jacob Riles, was telling me how he might take over.
Yeah.
But then I heard recently that he's moving out to Portland.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he's still on.
Yeah. No, he didn't. He didn't work out. You know, and I don't know if the direction was not there enough. But I kind of gave up a little bit more power than I should have, and I've taken it back. So it will happen, and it will be.
Well, you had the rights to it, right? I mean, you own the rights.
I created it. Yeah. So it will be. It'll be very cool, and hopefully you'll see it in 2013.
Perfect.
Okay. Oh, there was Earl Big Skillet Jackson on the chat room. He was asking, do documentaries count? Did you get a lot of
Absolutely, yes.
Oh.
Documentaries, sure.
So, yes, you do get submissions of documentaries?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
And anything on the horizon besides the big Macon Film Festival? What's going on? Anything?
You know, I'll tell you.
You always have something going on.
Well, you know, I've fortunately gotten somebody in place that I can trust and who's a go-getter to run the gallery for me.
She's wonderful.
So I am... From this week forward, going to be working almost nonstop on the film festival. Wow. I mean, it's pretty all consuming.
Yeah.
I mean, I've still got sponsorships to raise. We've got some ads to sell, remaining ads in the program left to go, and special guest. I've got to, you know, look at the. Just all that. The special guests, the special screenings, the workshops.
Yes.
The
workshops are pretty intense. They go on for a couple of hours.
Well,
right?
yeah, and they are something that's open to the public. They're free.
Yeah.
And this past year, I thought was the best workshops we've ever had. I mean, they were amazing, and two of them were complete. You couldn't even get into, so that was good. So people are catching on that this is something super cool.
Yeah.
And that these are it's not just about coming and watching some indie film that, you know, they can't understand or that might have too much violence or sex. That it's a cultural event, it's an art event, and it's something that people can learn from, and it's great networking. Even if you're not a filmmaker. If you're from Macon, this is a great opportunity to thank these people for coming here, invite them to come back. As we learned from 42, film brings in a shitload of money.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, I like that he used the word shit, especially here on BlogTV. We can use that word. But let me just say... Let's talk about some real shit right now. Listen, I think that 42 did for Macon what really, you know, nothing else could have done. Right. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is your 8th film festival. Of course, every year it's gotten bigger.
Yeah.
But I really believe that this year's festival is going to be a blowout.
Oh, yes.
Because of films like 42 and even Trouble with the Curve.
Yes.
Well, and that's and this is one of the things that
And the zombie movie.
that I ask people to support the film festival, and that when these people come and they meet us.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of filmmakers that come from all over the world, but it's nice for them to meet Macon people, for them to like the Macon folks, because you might have a building, you might have a house, you might have a parking lot or a parking deck that one of these filmmakers might need for their film, and they'll pay you to use it.
And they'll pay you. Yeah.
So
Very good.
I mean, it is a money making potential, and you know, it's considering how much money some people made in this town through not only 42 or Trouble with the Curve. There was just a pilot for a television series.
Oh, yes, yes.
That they shot,
Right.
and some folks made some bank on that.
Now, also,
Which is the West End, right? With the West End, that was it all.
Macon.com also had a program where there were 3 films that were brought up, and I was in one of them.
Yeah, that was a gateway.
privilege of
That was
being
a
in it.
Gateway Macon project.
Now,
Macon
what's happening with that? Is that coming back? I thought it was a fabulous idea.
It was amazing. It was a great idea. You know, I'm not really sure what Gateway Macon is going to do. It was the best, in my opinion. It was the best one of their contests or competitions that they did, in that it brought in these filmmakers who shot their films in Macon, and they're screening around the world at film festivals with that tag, filmed in Macon, Georgia. So that piques interest too, because they see Macon is beautiful on screen.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is
Oh, yes.
It
Yes,
is.
especially
It
during the
really
spring.
is.
Yeah.
Well, even check out Wise Blood way back.
Yeah.
You see that movie Wise Blood, you see a lot of Macon.
Well, you know, I just produced a film that unfortunately was not accepted into the
No,
film festival.
that's terrible.
But
That
it's called
zombie one?
Zombie Crush.
It wasn't?
No. You know, it just
That's crazy. I saw the clip on it. It was fabulous.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
see, I have a problem with that. I think it was
Okay.
made, if it was made here and we used local people, it should have automatically.
Well, see, and I'm on the board.
But
So
it should
that's
automatically
crazy.
be accepted. I'm equal about that. I think if it's locally made or features local people that have put their blood and sweat tears into it, I think it should be included somewhere in that program.
Well,
Right.
it was submitted, and there were some tweaks left. There were some blocks that were not finished, so they got down to the wire, and it just didn't make it. So we're going to submit it for the 2014 festival. But
Okay.
but when you know, and I've seen the film, but when you watch Zombie Crush, I mean, we used dilapidated areas, obviously, because it's during the apocalypse.
Right.
But it was amazing. That I mean, it
I
really
saw it, man.
looked
It looks beautiful.
and it wasn't just that it looked ugly; it was beautiful. It was beautifully decayed.
Even
You
the
know?
zombies
Which
are
is
good.
exactly what this show's about.
You gotta see this. I love Wyatt was in it. Your son Wyatt.
Yeah.
And they put a bat in his mouth.
Yeah,
and, even the special effects.
Yeah, the
was
special
pretty-
effects are awesome for the budget.
Yeah.
We've got some amazing special effects.
Yeah, I remember seeing a still shot from it with like a car turned over.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're
That
not
was
wearing
over
a
there in your
t-shirt.
neighborhood.
we brought in some wrecked cars.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. That
And
was
there was one wrecked police jeep. It was a
Yeah.
police jeep, and the Macon Police Department came in. Because I don't know, they were doing patrol, and they saw this wrecked cop car, and they freaked out.
Oh no!
They're like, "What's going on?" They had their guns,
Got
and we're
in
like,
trouble
"We're
already.
filming a movie. We're filming a movie."
And Cheryl, since we're all about freedom of speech in this show, and if you don't want to answer, that's fine. We had like Al Tillman didn't answer this question.
Yeah.
And that's fine because his answer was, "I have to work with these people."
Yeah.
Is there any particular people that you, and it could be us even, you can say the show's bad for the city, that you think are doing the wrong thing for this city? Like it could be a politician. Do you think there's a wrong direction that we're going in, and it's due to the fact of certain people in certain positions?
You know, I think that Macon has.
And I know you got to work with these people. That's
Well-
what Al Tillman said, but we still want the answer.
You know, I think that for a Macon to move forward, we have to have forward-thinking people, and that is new blood.
Yeah.
And
Blood,
you know,
baby.
I am I rarely vote for the incumbent on anything. I don't care if I like them or not. I think if you hold office and you continue to be re-elected, you get lazy.
Yeah.
So I believe in term limits. I mean, like
there
one.
we go.
Not even two, just one.
One. One chance to make a huge impact. If you can't fucking do that, then you don't have another chance.
Get out.
Or you can make a huge impact in that one term, and then hopefully somebody else that follows you will do just as well. It just seems like anybody that's reelected, they get lazy.
Now, I heard through the grapevine that you were in front of an audience, a mass audience. You were declared the honorary mayor of Macon. And, of course, the mayor was in the audience.
Yeah.
And,
you know...
how did that go over?
Not good.
Not good.
That's
what I thought.
This guy was from he was a filmmaker from I can't remember where he was from, Los Angeles, I believe. But
that is funny though.
He just I was his contact. I was the one that reeled him into here. I was the one that showed him an amazing time. So to him, I was the king or the mayor or the whatever.
Yeah.
But he did call me the mayor of Macon during a time when the mayor was actually there.
I never heard of this. I didn't know this happened.
I'm telling you,
I can't.
Unbelievable.
I can't help what people say.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm not.
Especially when they speak the truth.
I'm not the mayor. I don't want to be the mayor. Have been asked on numerous occasions by numerous people to run. I have no interest. I have no interest in that. But it's nice that people think that whatever they think, but that's not me.
We've never had It Zen on here before. I'm thinking It Zen's a friend of Terrell's. But we're going to ask the question anyway. It Zen says, what kind of tax benefits does Georgia offer for films?
That's a good question.
Very good.
I'll ask it again.
It's one of the best tax incentives in the country, quite frankly. I think we're in the top 3 incentives.
Behind New York and California.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because as far as like film, because I think Georgia is third for getting the most out of film locations, just behind New York and California.
Yeah.
So
now we're talking Macon, Georgia. We're talking the state of Georgia.
The state of Georgia.
Speaking of which, do you think? I guess you pat yourself on the back or not if you want to, but do you think because of the influx of films, even during or even before MAGA came around? Do you think that what basically made the progression of Georgia being pushed in the top 3 of
I think that the tax incentives are what pushed us up there.
Okay.
When it comes down to money, you can get. They can get everything they could build in Hollywood, downtown Macon.
Oh yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, it costs a lot of money, and if they can come here with tax incentives and find the real stuff, there's a difference. There is a difference how it looks, and quite frankly, I know that all the deals are done in Hollywood, but they move out of state to film their films and to do their television series because they can get these tax breaks.
Wow. Okay.
What happened with the if you know? Wasn't a few years ago Steve Balderson had the movie he made here with Karen Black stuff. What happened? Wasn't he supposed to come back and possibly film something else here? Is that still in the works, or did something happen with that? That just disappeared.
He actually came when he was here filming stuff.
Right.
It actually happened at my house. Community people hosted the filmmakers and the actors. Every night for dinner. And one night at my house, this story came up, and he was intrigued by it, and he actually sent a writer to Macon to interview several people who wrote the script, Casserole Club, and he ended up filming it in Palm Springs.
That's what happened.
Yeah, he ended up filming it in Palm
Wow.
Springs.
So you talk about taking an idea from Macon, Georgia, and stealing it.
Well, see, I thought before he
That's
went
what it sounds like.
that direction with Castro, I thought he was going to be talking about Angie and Lyles because there was talk about him interested in the Angie and Lyles story,
Well,
right?
you know,
And
not
I
so.
remember a friend of mine, Denver Picard, had that script of the play he did.
Yeah.
And I remember them talking about how we're trying to kind of push Ann Jett, the idea of Ann Jett behind.
I don't think it was much Steve Bolton as it was Pleasant Gaiman, who was one of the actors.
Okay.
She fell in love with the story, and she really wants to do it.
Okay.
So I mean, we'll see. I mean, it certainly is an intriguing story, and
So the Castro Club basically got pushed from Macon to Florida.
yeah, I mean,
And that caused,
no,
I guess, the
Palm Springs,
Oh,
California.
Palm Springs, California.
Sorry.
It was. I'm not really sure exactly why he chose Palm Springs. I think he was looking for more of a cocktail club kind of look, and it took place during a specific time period. It was supposed to look like it took place during the 50s.
Yeah.
And it was easier for them to find those kind of houses they could film, and it would be easy for the actors to go from LA to get there.
Yeah.
So anyway, it happened there.
So it's in says I'm a filmmaker from Mobile, Alabama. We have filmed in LA, Alabama, Mississippi.
Missouri.
You're on the right show. You joined the right show.
And
We got
parts
Terrell
of
Sandefur,
Florida.
Also in Florida.
Come on down to Macon.
So I am curious as to why what?
Oh,
Why what?
No,
he's talking about
he's correcting the
he's
why.
curious as to
The
what
why,
about
why.
the tax benefits.
Right.
I can't read.
Okay.
It's all right. He basically was saying that he's a filmmaker, and that's why he was curious
Alabama.
about the